One thing that helped us in disagreements, it wasn't about whether she's right or I'm right. Because at some point, it will be like, why are you the one that is always right? You are the one that think this time around, do my own. Even if you know I am wrong, do For us, one thing I know helped us was what determined the direction we should go wasn't whether I am right or her is right. It is what we know is right in the eyes of God.
And there are times that I would think that I am right. And then I go to God in my quiet place and He reveals to me that no, you need to go and make peace. You were wrong. And then I move. And there are times that I cry to God, see, this man is and all that. And God would go ahead in His own quiet time to convict him that you need to go and talk to your wife. You need to go, maybe you were not right. This is how you should have. And so that's why the foundation, just to add to what he said, is very important, having a foundation in Christ. My name is Ifoma Isabel Dio. And he is Sedu Jeremiah Dio. And we've been married for 13 years now. I remember it was a struggle for my family because you are expected to bring home somebody who is having physically, like you can see that this person is filled with wealth. It was a thing of status and a thing of pride. But I remember telling my mom that I have peace, and that was the most important thing for me. And I remember she recalled, this was not long before she died, because she was thankful for our marriage. She spent some time with us on one of those times, or many of those times. It wasn't just once. She said it to me, she said it to my husband, she said it to my mother-in-law and all that, how grateful she is that we got to get married. That because she has friends who their children had come back home, their female children. They were married to people from the same tribe. They were married to people who were wealthy and all that. But that's to tell you that those things do not guarantee a good marriage. We're not saying that they are not good things. I'm not saying you should go and pick up an irresponsible man that doesn't have any plans for his life, and then you say, oh, I want to know, or you are the one who is carrying the burden for your... No, I like to be a feminine woman who likes to be taken care of and all that. But there was something that I saw. A man who had a walk with God, has a direction. I just knew I had peace and I was going to be comfortable, despite the fact that the material things were not there yet.
2 weeks before our wedding, she was saying, wait, is this wedding still happening? Because everywhere was dry, nothing was happening. You know, even our friends are looking at her, are you sure you know what you're doing? Because at that point, I really didn't have anything. And the only thing perhaps Ifoma could hold on to was, this guy knows where he's going. He has a purpose. He's clear about his purpose in life. He has clearly explained to me, look, this is what I'm giving my life to. The only problem is this guy doesn't have money or anything. We had absolutely nothing. I only had my clothes, my shoes that I had, you know.
And I remember we got to the reception venue after the church wedding, and there was no... We found out they took the light.
Yeah.
And they tried to turn on the generator. There was no petrol
in the
gen. Everybody was just waiting for me to, okay, what are you going to do now? But before then, I had made up my mind that nothing was going to make me angry or unhappy on this joyful day. That no matter what it was, I was going to be very happy. I was going to be thankful. I was just going to rejoice.
When we married, where I had to stay was in my brother-in-law's place. He had been transferred to Ibadan and he was in from Makurdi, and he still had 6 months rent. For me, that's where I had to start life. Immediately we got married, about a month or two afterwards, we realized she was pregnant. And I remembered at some point we just had golden morn, some milk,
some
rice and sugar
and gas.
So I'll boil rice, I'll put some sugar in it and drink. And because she was pregnant, I would give her
the sachet of
milk and
golden morn.
So Ifoma is an Igbo girl. She's the firstborn, and she has 4 brothers following her. And this was the person I was getting married to. It just, when I look back, I'm like, wow, like, this is my wife. She just followed me. We went to the US 2022
2020.
and 2023. We went to UK last year. And for example, the reasoning was, it wasn't that the money was there, but because of what we're going to the UK to do, we prayed to God and asked Him, look, it would have been easier for me to go alone. But because of what He has called us to do, it made more sense for us to go together. And we prayed to Him to provide for us to be able to make that trip. And we made that trip together. So, but perhaps people seen on social media or seen outside would think maybe it has always been rosy, or these people have a lot of money, that's why they can travel together. But it's just been a journey of faith, and at every point in time, trusting God. So God has been merciful to us. We've been able to do things that are way beyond what we can even imagine, considering where we're coming from. From the onset, money did not decide for us what we should do and what we shouldn't do. It was more of the purpose that God had given us, the vision He had given us for our life, and the little steps of faith to pursue what God had called us to do.
His relationship with God was something that really attracted me to Him. And so, over the years, I've just seen Him be the same person, just growing in His walk with God. And He really inspires me a lot. I tell Him that God puts Him in my life, or us in each other's life, I think solely for that reason, to help me to become a better person. The background I came from, where we used to attend church, but I didn't know much about having a walk and a close relationship with God. So being with Him has really helped me to realign my focus. Like, He has been an example. So I see Him looking up to God, and then I have somebody to look up to who looks up to God. And so it has really helped me to grow in my relationship with God, in patience, in love. He's a very loving person, very cheerful and generous. And without Him, I don't think I would be as homely as I am, or as accommodating as I am, because He's a very accommodating person. He doesn't need to think before He opens the door wide for people to come into our home and all that. I need to process things. And so it has really helped me to really enjoy the beauty of experiencing having people live with us.
So many times I look at it from her, I'm like, wow, like, so for example, we homeschool our kids. It wasn't something she was familiar with until we got married. Maybe because of my background, I knew, but it was completely new to her. But the way she homeschools them, you think maybe they gave birth to her, teaching her how to homeschool children, you know. And I'm like, nah. So I'm just saying, things like that. You see someone who embraces what you're about and takes it on as if, and is so passionate about it and is very invested in it. And for me, that's a huge blessing. God has used her to be such a blessing. So of course, we've had rough moments, misunderstandings here and there, where it's like, oh my God, shouldn't I just die and then and then and leave this woman? But overall, it's two people who just keep being repentant and keep trying to move on.
So I am grateful we get to do life together. It's not the travel, it's not the things that look like success that ticks it for me. It's the fact that we get to do life together, and then we see God transform the lives of these young people that He brings our way. You just see people who didn't know about God, who had no inkling as to what it means to walk with God, and then because these people get to come into our lives, we get to experience firsthand God working in their own lives. And we just see God at work over the years in our lives, just using us in our imperfection, in our inadequacies, to just raise for Him people who are working with Him in different spheres of their lives. Our trip to the UK was mostly to visit some of the people that, the Japa thing now. There are a lot of the people that we have worked with over the years that have relocated. Some are just starting their families, some have families and all that.
In those first days when we were struggling, when I go out on campus, if I will stay at home checking the books for 5 naira, 10 naira, any amount, 500, sometimes you stumble on 200. Hey, I found 200 when I come back. Now we're, by God's grace, we've been able to support many, many, many other people.
My life would have been about myself, building a career, making money, and all that. But God had other plans.
We married when we were 26. When I was 26, we're both 26 years old. Money shouldn't call the shots in your life. First, focus on your God-given purpose. In other words, God should call the shots. Money shouldn't determine what you do and what you don't do. Sometimes money, like you said, crumbles marriages. That is the standard. But I think the best things that have happened to us are the times when things have been tough and we've pulled through those tough times. It has helped us not to be afraid. When you've seen it all low and you didn't die, when another opportunity comes, you're like, I think I've seen this before. It will come and pass. So the easy life, the abundant life, having money and having everything, money deciding your peace, your joy, who you marry, when you marry, how you marry, shouldn't be the focus. The focus should be a God-given purpose, a God-given vision, and that both of you agree on that and are pursuing that. The rest sorts itself out, not money. Those things help you pull through tough times. And you need tough times to be able to survive in life, basically.
Many people will not agree.
Yeah. You need challenging, tough times to be able to survive in life.
Even if you don't see the big picture yet, know that the plans He has for you, especially if you are a child of God, the plans He has for you is plans that are good and will take you to an expected end. Don't think that God doesn't know, God doesn't understand. God, let me work my way out. Let me work. The things you think you can work out for yourself is insignificant compared to what God can do through you if you trust Him. So trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways and He will make your paths straight.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe.